So I've been playing around with iOS 17 for quite some time now, and there's a bunch of features that I've really enjoyed. In this video, I want to share those features with you. Now, before I start, down below, you will see all the chapter information, so that way you can jump to your desired section of the video. So first and foremost, let's start at the lock screen. You'll notice right here, there's a little bit of a blur at the top portion of the lock screen. I actually really like this, and I noticed this because I was making a bunch of wallpapers for my online store, and when I went to zoom out, pinch to zoom far enough, and it adds a blur effect to the top portion. Now, if you're pinched in far enough, then you'll notice that the blur goes away. So you have to just play with the wallpaper that you want to set and pinch it out far enough to where you get that blur. Now, the reason I like this is because it helps make it more clear with all the elements you have on your lock screen. So you've got widgets and all your information up top, right? There's been a lot of wallpapers that I'll set and I don't like them anymore because they mess with the top portion of the lock screen. I don't enjoy that. So personally, I really like this. It's a small touch, but it goes a long way. Another nice addition at the lock screen is what you call standby mode. So when you have your phone on the charger and it's in landscape, you will get this standby mode. Now you can go in and customize these widgets and see what information you want displayed there. And this is cool because if you have it on charge at night, you can get a quick glance at the time, the date, and let's say you don't want to see the time and you only want to see the date, or maybe you want to use the photos widget. You can really go in there and tinker and play around with it and customize it to your liking. Now, one thing to note is that on standard iPhone models that have standard displays and they don't have ProMotion or the always on display, those are not going to be able to stay in standby mode, which is really silly, but it's another way to get you to buy the Pro iPhone and not have something like I do, which is the 13 mini. Now, if you have a Pro iPhone, the 14 Pro or 14 Pro Max, when you go to put it on the charge and it's in landscape, it's always going to stay in standby mode and display that information to you. But with something like the 13 mini or a regular iPhone 14, the display is going to show you that information, but then after a few minutes, it's just going to disappear. I guess this is still nice because you can, if you wake up in the middle of the night and you tap on your phone or something, you can just get an idea of what the time is or what your widgets are doing. But I would have really liked to see it be compatible with standard ones too. So now let's jump into the Messages app because there's a bunch of improvements I really like here that have just made it more efficient and better to use. First and foremost, what's really cool is you've got now a drawer for all your Messages apps and elements. For example, you use stickers or to pay somebody cash, sharing location. It's all integrated here when you tap on this plus icon. It brings up this drawer, which will show you camera, photos, stickers, cash, audio, location. But then you can go into more, and this will bring up all the other apps that integrate with Messages. So it's no longer in this tray that was beneath the text field. It's just cleaned it all up and it's all hidden in that little drawer. I like this a lot. Another thing I really liked is audio messages. So you know how you have to press and hold to record an audio message? That is probably one of the most annoying things for me personally, because if I'm driving and I want to record an audio message, I don't want to be holding my phone. And I can't tell you how many times I've had that problem to where my hand slips off the microphone and I think it's still recording, but it's not. Now what's cool is that when you press the plus icon and go to audio, now all of a sudden it's just going to start recording an audio message. And you don't have to hold anything or do anything until you're ready to stop it, which you can just do so by pressing the stop. And if you want to send it, you can press send, or you can hit the X and delete it altogether. Now, one thing that's really nice with audio messages now is, let's say I send a small audio message to someone. I'm driving, I can't type, so I send a small audio message, but the other person is at work and they can't hear it. What's cool now is that automatically that audio message will get transcribed. It's not going to transcribe like 5-minute audio messages or 3-minute ones, but small audio messages, it'll have a little transcription right beneath that audio message so that for the other person, it just makes it easy. I can't tell you how many times I've been in this situation myself to where I send the audio message or somebody sends the audio message and I can't hear it until later. This at least lets you see that transcription and still see the message without hearing it. I use audio messages a lot, and this is really, really helpful for me. Another nice addition is something called check-in. This is a really cool feature, and I personally really like this simply because there's so many times where you tell somebody, hey, text me when you get there, and they forget about it, or vice versa. You could be in that situation and you just simply forget. Well, now with check-in, you can set it up to where when you get to your destination, it'll automatically let the other person know. So if you're a parent that have kids and you want to just check in on them, well, now you can do so in a much more simpler manner. And this feature, I think, is going to be one that a lot of people use and really love. Another nice feature is dictation. So as I talk, you'll notice that it just very quickly is able to transcribe the words I'm saying, and it's just doing such a great job. I've noticed this just do a much better job. Dictation itself is not a new feature, but it's improved a lot more than before. What's also nice is that autocorrect is just so much better. For example, let's say I type what up, WADUP. Now, it's going to want to change that to what's up. And if it does, when you press the backspace, it's going to show a little pop-up that's going to say, hey, this is what you typed. Do you want to go back to that? And when you select that, it's not going to mess with that word again. And over time, it's doing a much better job in remembering the way that you type certain words, so it's not going to be doing it again and again. You know how many times you type something and then you go back and you correct it and then it does it again and then you go back and you go back. So that is not going to happen anymore, which is really nice because I type in like Roman Urdu, which is like my language, and I have that issue all the time. And it's gotten to a point where I don't even try to fight with the thing and type in my own language. So this is going to be a really helpful feature. Now, the last two things I really like about the Messages app, number one is going to be it's easier now to reply. So you know how you had to press and hold and then press on reply to somebody's message and then create like a mini line conversation inside of your main conversation? Well, you no longer have to do that. You simply go over to what you want to reply to, swipe over, and there you go. Begin typing, send your reply. The other nice addition is with group chats. With group chats, sometimes there's moments in the day where you get busy and you're not able to see that group chat for a while. Well, now when you go back to that group chat, there's like a little arrow that you get. You tap on that and it's called catch up. So it's going to take you to the last message that you actually saw. So it helps you easily get back to that spot because we've all done it. We go back into a group chat and we're like, okay, what's happened here? And we swipe through till we get to where we were last, right? So this just makes that easy because it knows where you left off and allows you to get back to that point and continue the conversation. All right, so if you are somebody that loves using stickers in your conversations, well, what you're really going to love is the ability to create your own stickers. So you can now go to an image and you can press and hold on a character or something in the image and take the subject out of the image and just create a sticker of it. So I've created a bunch and it's been awesome because I do like using stickers. They make a conversation fun. So if you're somebody that loves stickers, you're really going to love making your own. All right, so now let's jump into the home screen. And here you've got interactive widgets. You know, for the longest time, widgets have been interactive on other platforms such as Android. And I don't know why we haven't had it, but it is definitely a nice addition. So for example, I've got one here on the home screen for this play light bar. So tapping on it, tapping off, I can turn the light on and off. So this is just one of the ways that you can use interactive widgets. So for example, reminders, you can go through the bullet points. It's nice to be able to use a widget in the way that a widget should be. Now, two other features I've really enjoyed have to do with sharing. First one is going to be sharing your name card. You can now go in and go to your card and create a bunch of customizations and really individualize what you want it to look like when you call people or when you share the information with people. So when you go up to somebody else and you want to share contact information, simply bring two phones running iOS 17 together. You'll get a cool little animation and it'll allow you to choose what you want to share. So it's nice, automatically you get the other person's photo or whether they're using an emoji, their email, whatever stuff they want to share, you'll get that transferred over right away. Another cool thing is AirDrop. So AirDrop, I've been in so many situations to where an AirDrop is taking longer than usual, and I just am like, you know what, let's leave it and do it some other time. Well, now what's cool is that if both people are initiating an AirDrop, one, you get a cool animation, but the nice thing is that if you step away and you have to go separate ways, the AirDrop, as long as both people have iCloud, will continue through the cloud and eventually go to the other person. This is going to be very useful for me. All right, now let's move on to two features that have to do with the card. First of all is maps and being able to download them for offline use. This is such a nice addition because you can, if you're traveling somewhere or oftentimes you get to a destination or on the way to a destination, you lose your network coverage and now your maps, if you have to use them again, they're not going to work. So you can pre-download large areas and just save them for offline use. What I also like is that you can choose for them to automatically update. For example, let's say I download the map of New York and there are changes that happen in between the time that I downloaded. It's going to automatically update those places, the streets, the information. So that way I have the latest information on my maps. I really like that. And I also like SharePlay. So SharePlay is in the car when you're connected via CarPlay. It's nice because you can now have two people controlling the music. Often it happens to me where me and my wife are driving somewhere and I initiate the music, but then she wants to change it, and so I always have to give her my phone and, she takes it and does her thing, changes the song, puts it back on the mount, and we kind of go back and forth like that. But now what's cool is that I could just have her scan the QR code and just continue changing music, but from her phone instead. That's a really nice addition, although there is a downside. Yes, I was really sad to know about this, is if you don't have Apple Music, you can't use SharePlay. So I actually got a trial just to test it out. And yeah, it works. It's great. It's awesome. But I use YouTube Music because I have YouTube Premium and I don't have ads. So that gives you like ad-free YouTube and also YouTube Music. So you could download music offline and stream it on the go. So because I already pay for that, it doesn't make sense for me to pay for another subscription. So I really wish that in the future, it comes to more music services because there's a lot of people that use Spotify, people use YouTube Music, other platforms. So it would be nice if Apple would just let us SharePlay, as long as I think it should be enough that two people have an iPhone. So let us just SharePlay our music in the car. That'd be really cool. But for now, it's only supported with Apple Music users. Now, the plus side to it is that if you are somebody who has an Apple Music subscription, and let's say your friend or your coworker or your spouse doesn't, well, they don't need to have a subscription in order to continue changing music in your car. So as long as you have the subscription and you have SharePlay initiated, the other people can still contribute to the playlist without them needing a subscription. So at least they went and did that, which is great because then it would have forced a lot more people to getting subscriptions. So I'm really hopeful that at some point this comes to other platforms like Spotify and YouTube Music, but for now, it is confined to Apple Music only. So one last thing I want to talk about is, so for starters, you don't have to say "Hey Siri" anymore. You simply are just going to say, and it's going to activate her. She's going to wake up and start listening to what you want. And the other thing that's cool is that after you ask her for something, she's not just simply going to go away, or you don't have to say her name once again. You simply just ask her the next question or tell her to do the next task, and she will continue listening, and it's like having a conversation with her until she realizes that you're no longer there or you no longer need her, and she will disappear. The other thing I've noticed is that it is performing better in terms of turning on and off lights, because I often get this response from Siri that, oh, I can't seem to find that device. I don't know why, but that happens to me all the time. So HomeKit improvements and integrations with Siri seem to be working better since I've done this update. Now, all the features that I've spoke about today aren't all the features that iOS 17 is going to bring. These are just the ones that I found useful, and I really think that you will find useful once the update finally rolls out. I will say, if you do get the public beta, I will put a link to where you can go and enroll your device, but please do it on a spare device, because there are a bunch of bugs and issues that I've already experienced myself. So I don't really recommend you put it on your main phone. For example, CarPlay keeps disconnecting, keeps freezing up. When I'm going to type a text message, the text field just disappears. There's a bunch of little things like that. So you don't want to put this on something like a work phone. Put it on a spare phone, and you'll really enjoy it, and you can enjoy the features ahead of time. Thank you so much for your time. Take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next video.